Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video, where in this video, as you can see, we will be reacting to a guy ranking all the Zelda games. His channel is called Game Domain. I'll leave it in the description. I was looking up ideas for a 10 sub celebration, and I just found this in my recommended, so I couldn't come up with anything, so I decided to just do something different instead. So yeah, anyways guys, let's go. Here we go.
One a goodie. This video may be a little bit controversial, so
I'm gonna, by the way, that he just said it may be a little controversial. I just messed that word up, dang it. Controversial. I'm going to say my opinions about his opinions, so obviously mine are gonna be different from him, so don't go hating on him. If you do, click the link in the description. Like he said, these are his opinions, not mine.
Coming in as the worst non-console Legend of Zelda game is also the worst game in the whole series. Triforce Heroes was really the only game in the entire series that felt more like a fill-in than.
Okay, I would totally agree with that. That's the worst game in the series by far.
Set forward by the Windwalker, known as the Adult Link timeline. Game is a good game, but this ranking will help us to differ the good from the great.
Okay.
The number 6 spot is going to The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks.
I'd say Phantom Hourglass.
Spirit Tracks was a direct sequel to Phantom Hourglass and an indirect sequel to The Wind Waker. Spirit Tracks introduced some fan-favorite aspects in the franchise, mainly the inclusion of the number 5 spot goes to the direct sequel of The Wind Waker, The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah, okay.
Don't get us wrong, Phantom Hourglass is a very good game, although it's further the plot and defeat the evil pirate Bellum.
Guys, if you're wondering why I'm not stopping it much, I'm probably gonna stop it a bit more at the console section, but in this he's kind of just talking about the game, not really much about his opinion, so yeah, that's why.
The game's Link's Awakening.
Okay.
The game's story picks up right after the Oracle of Seasons, and Link is setting off on a journey by boat. His ship is destroyed, and he's washed up on the shore of Koholint Island.
There's nothing really to get
Link is told by an...
Okay, I'm sorry about this, guys, but I watched through the rest of the non-console games on my own, and it's kind of boring. I haven't watched through the home console ones, but I'm gonna go to those because they're probably better. So I can't blame him for having a boring section about these, because they're kind of compared to the home console ones, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna skip to those. Okay, here we go.
Where should we start with this number 10 spot? This game isn't really a mainline memorable Zelda title, but it is only on this portion of the list due to its release being for the Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah,
The Legend of Zelda Four Swords Adventure is really just a cooperative multiplayer game in which you can play a few different modes such as Shadow Battle, GameCube, and certainly doesn't hold up in the memories of at least 75% of the Zelda fanbase. Straightforward here and tell you that ranking this game this low in the ranking hurts. Like, it hurts a lot. This game meant so much to so many people and was a great sequel to what started it all for the Legend of Zelda franchise. The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, is the only numbered game in the series and really isn't a bad game. The game takes place a few years after the events of the original, and Link is now a 16-year-old who has been awoken from a deep slumber to save Princess Zelda yet again. Link defeats the game several... Oh no. We said the last ranking hurt, but this one hurts even more. Before you go crazy in the comments or dislike or unsubscribe, we are just going to be completely frank with you guys. Our choice for the number 8 greatest Legend of Zelda game is the original Legend of Zelda. Yes, we know. How could you rank the original in the series number 8?
No, that's not...
Don't get us wrong. This game is an incredible game and was revolutionary for its time. These last 7 games are what defines the franchise and are all great and fun games that fans still play to this day.
Oh, no.
Let's start it off with number 7, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword was very different from previous Zelda entries, and some of that was for the good and some for the bad. The story was shaken up a bit, as Link was now a resident of the floating town Skyloft, and had to journey down to the unexplored surface to find Princess Zelda. The game is said to be the first chronological Zelda game, meaning that it is the first in the timeline. The game's graphics and gameplay were very smooth and haven't held up quite well over the past 7 years. To much delight, the Wii's motion controls were implemented only when they should have been, and not thrown at you like in other games.
Okay.
When it came to bigger franchise titles moving on to the Wii, Nintendo was careful not to overuse the motion control, as they would see tremendous backlash from fans.
But still, that was such a good game.
Many traditional Zelda elements are present from Metacritic.
Okay.
Coming in at number 6, we have The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess.
Okay.
Twilight Princess really is the definition of different, and it sure worked and paid off. The game was developed with both the GameCube and Wii in mind, as it was released right when people began converting over to the Wii upon its release. It was released on the Wii as a launch title, and really just it had enhanced franchise. The game really expanded on the three main ideas of the 3D Zelda games: combat, exploration, and puzzle solving.
Hold up. No, it did not expand on exploration. That stupid overworld that you had to go through for the entire game, that was boring as crap. There was like nothing in it, but yeah, the combat was amazing in Twilight Princess. Probably the best it's ever been.
Coming in at number 5 is The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask, which is a sequel to the beloved Ocarina of Time.
Number 5, huh?
Majora's Mask is largely overshadowed by its predecessor, and we discuss a lot of that in our most recent episode of Games You Need, so be sure to check that out.
Really overshadowed.
Majora's Mask picks up a few months after Ocarina of Time, and the whole game takes place over the span of 3 days, in which
Okay, I'm sorry that I can't...
We have been talking about certain games being so different from others in the series, and when you look at the Legend of Zelda series as a whole, there's one game that jumps out as different. And yes, you've probably guessed it, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Twilight Princess more disarray.
Wind Waker introduced us the cartoony graphics that we never thought we'd love, and also created a bridge to a whole new Zelda timeline.
As Wind Waker.
After The Wind Waker, we saw many future Zelda titles use the same graphical appearance of Link, mainly the handheld games that we mentioned earlier, and the components of a Zelda game return, as Link returns back to the Forsaken Forest towards the climax of the game to obtain the Master Sword, which eventually loses its power after Link and Tetra are outbattled by Ganon. Ganon notices the Triforce necklace on Tetra and realizes that Tetra is the reincarnate. We are now getting into the part of the ranking where each game is just absolutely astonishing, and we are not going to have time to go in depth as to why each of them are so amazing. Each of these next 3 games were featured as the number 6, number 5, and number 1 greatest Nintendo games of all time, so this really is illustrious territory.
I don't know, there's 3 Zelda
If you want to hear more about these games, then go check out our top 10 greatest Nintendo games of all time video, and these games really are considered some of the best games ever from any console. The one underlying theme that unites them together is one word: greatness.
Yep.
The game looks aesthetically beautiful for its time, and if you took a non-gamer and showed them the game, they would most likely think that it was made yesterday for the App Store or something.
Oh my god.
A Link to the Past is a prequel to the original 2 Zelda games, and Link is awoken by a telepathic message from the imprisoned Princess Zelda, which is basically the same way that The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild started off. The main feature is the 2 worlds, the normal world and the Sacred Realm, which was now the Dark World due to Ganon's takeover of that world. Link's goal in this game is to restore peace in the Dark World and bring it back to the Sacred Realm. Link ventures into the Dark World and rescues the descendants of the 7 sages who reside in the dungeons. Is it possible for a game to be the most perfect blend of visual beauty, incredible, thought-out story, and over 100 mind-boggling puzzles to partake in? Well, yes, it is possible. And that game
is about that over 100 mind-boggling puzzles. But the thing is, half of the shrines aren't hard, and a lot of them are also combat ones. Which those aren't puzzles, are they?
Is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is the most beautiful and most open game we have ever seen, and we expect that it will hold that long time. After you make your way past the 3 shrines of the Great Plateau, you are open to a world of 120 shrines, 14 Sheikah Towers, over a dozen settlements, and so much more.
Why am I getting mad at a video?
You can play this game at your own pace. If you want, you can go straight to Hyrule Castle and fight Ganon. Or you can go on the ultimate quest to tackle as many shrines as you want, restore all 4 divine beasts and the memories of the 4 champions and their people, and obtain the iconic Master Sword. You can collect hundreds of weapons and shields and bows, and all of them only have a short lifespan.
Not all of them.
The game's graphics might be the greatest of any video game to date, and the beautifully placed little dab of cartoonish feel from the Wind Waker adds a whole lot of fun. It would take us an hour-long video to talk about all of the great things in this game and all of the great and wonderful quests you can go on to find your eventual common goal of saving Hyrule.
But it does not
Breath of the Wild is also the first game in the series to have DLC, and the second. This game is almost never-ending, as it can take you up to over 100 hours to defeat Ganon, all the Divine Beasts, and all 120 shrines. The openness and beauty of Nintendo fans to the true power of the brand new Nintendo Switch.
And the Wii
U. Well, this #1 choice shouldn't be a surprise. This game was also our greatest Nintendo game of all time.
Oh my gosh, he's so stupid. He says Majora's Mask is overshadowed by its predecessor, which is Ocarina of Frickin' Time. And then right after that, well, not right after that, but after that, he puts it 4 dang slots above Majora's Mask. That makes 0 frickin' sense. This shouldn't trigger me, but it is, it really is.
And is probably the single greatest video game of all time.
That's an opinion.
Like, nowadays, it's normal for a game to make us feel like we are in the world, but this game was the first to give people that feeling.
That's an opinion.
Ocarina track and tune in this game is so catchy and masterfully composed.
That's an opinion.
This is basically the most iconic game ever created.
Yeah, like
if you call yourself a gaming fan, you know the true impact that this game has had on the gaming community. The ratings for this game are 98 to 100%, 10 out.
Well, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this kind of 10 subscriber celebration. I mean, it was different from all my other videos. I hope I fixed the audio this time, because in the last reaction video, I failed hard, but, you know, I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty sure I fixed it. But anyways, guys, I was gonna say something, and I forgot. So, goodbye.